Today, we're listing my top 10 games your kids might enjoy for Christmas. At Tantrum House Studio 3, I'm Liam Meadows.
And I'm Will Meadows, and this is Liam's third time putting together his basically Christmas suggestion list. Hopefully you guys find it enjoyable. We'd love to hear your comments in the comment section of the video to let us know which games that you might be interested in buying your kids for Christmas. What was kind of your thought process before we jump in? Tell us a little bit about why you chose some of the games that you chose.
So I chose some of the ones, I chose some that are really easy to learn, like a couple of them, and then some, so like kids like Xander that can't quite like read every single thing on every card. So it's a little bit easier for them, and games that are bigger and better for kids like my age and Lincoln's age that know how to play games and like strategize what they're doing on their turns.
Cool. So tell us how old you are. Remind us.
Okay, 11.
Oh, good. I knew that. And so you picked some games that are fun for all ages. I noticed last year there were a bunch of games that came out that were like superheroes and cartoons and video games. I didn't notice too many of those in your list.
Yeah, even though they're cartoons or anything, that doesn't mean they're the greatest game. Like Darkseid Rising looks really cool, but it's basically just Thanos Rising, the gameplay.
Don't you love Thanos Rising?
Yeah,
okay.
It was fun. But you can't get it in the U.S., just like Die Solin Der Erdi is hard. You can't get in the U.S.
Okay, so some games are hard for our audience to get a hold of. If you're in Europe or whatever, Darkseid Rising...
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Okay, so still good game.
Yeah.
Thanos was your favorite game last year, right?
Yeah.
So still good, but it is the same one. So it didn't make the list for several reasons.
Yeah.
But I think you've got a great lineup. I'm excited to see which order these all stack up in. Are we ready to do it?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Number 10. Okay, my number 10 game is Wakanda Forever.
Cool.
This is a really fun game. We also got this special thing on the bottom of this that says Tantrum House. Thanks, Spin Master. This is a really fun game. I really like the giant pool of vibranium. Yeah, which is really cool. I also love all the different bad guy cards from all the different movies. Like they're all different, not all from Wakanda.
Right.
Like there's some from like Ant-Man and Wasp, but there's no Thanos.
No Thanos, yeah. He didn't show up in Wakanda Forever. So, based on the movie, we just talked about these ones, but I think this is your only IP movie lineup in the whole game. This is a cooperative game, right? Yeah. I still haven't actually played it yet. You guys have played it a bunch of times. Yeah. This was a cool little gift, I agree. Got some cool components in it, and made the
I like, what is it called? Diamonds? Yeah, diamonds, where you have that little thing and you secretly have all your vibranium in it, and then you can vote on
privacy shield.
Who is the Black Panther? You can vote on the scratch token, which is no, I want to be Black Panther, or you can say, sure, you can be Black Panther and get an extra vibranium, which is really cool for the next round. And I like how many vibranium you're spending. So like, do I want to overpower this guy? But what if he only has 1 health at the end of his turn, and I waste 6 vibranium doing literally nothing? When like you can only play 1 vibranium and get it because you still get 2 dice.
So lots of opportunity for strategy, it sounds like, even though it's a cooperative game.
Yeah. So whoever gets the final blow gets like extra points and stuff. So you want to be getting, like, if you're first as Black Panther, so if you're wanting to get like 5 points, every 5 gives you like an extra thing, like a vibranium or an extra victory point, and then the first one to 30 victory points wins. So you might be saying, ooh, do I play 6, and if he has 1 left, and then I get it, and I get the extra victory point, or do I get the vibranium piece instead?
Wow. All right, cool. Sounds like a lot of fun. Number 10.
Number 9.
All right, what's your number 9?
Valley of the Vikings.
Valley Hardrocking. All right, excellent. Call it in. Hobby game.
Okay, yeah, this is a really fun game. I love how you're flicking the little ball to try to hit the barrels. Yeah, it's the barrels over to get points. I also really like the pieces when you're moving them, like, do I move this one and end the round, or do I move this one and then this one so he doesn't get certain points?
Yep, pretty neat. It's got some fun components. You're kind of bowling with that paddle, which is pretty neat.
Yeah, and then you can, like, there's a square shape, and then you can be like, okay, I'm going to put these in the front and that in the away corner, because if I hit that, the game game's over or something like that.
Right, because he'll get points.
Yeah.
They don't want to knock over his
Yeah.
barrel that represents his color.
Yeah,
and
like he's stealing from him, so that's good. So I don't want to hit him over.
Yep, lots
So
of fun
he
stuff
moves.
going on. So some dexterity
Yeah.
and some turn order strategy type stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty cool. All right, excellent.
Number 8.
All right, so what's your number 8 game?
Imhotep the Duel.
The Duel. All right, so this is the 2-player version of Imhotep.
Yeah.
Same components, basically.
Yeah.
You got some boats and cool cubes.
Yeah, 2-player game where you're trying to get the tokens to your places, like for instance the obelisk, the temple, the pyramid, the tomb, and you're trying to get certain points by doing their
Stacking them
actions,
up different ways,
actions.
yep.
And then like the obelisk, whoever has the most wins, and then the temple, you're trying to get more of the sun tiles, and then like some say 1 on it, some say 2, some say 3, and some say 4. And then in the harder
More
version,
victory points, right?
yeah, you flip it over and you have to have 1 of each to get the points for it.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of like a tic-tac-toe
Yeah.
almost mechanic where you can't send a boat to launch until you have at least 2 in a row, and then you're going to unload the boat in a certain order, very similarly to the original game, but it's just 2 players.
Yeah.
Does have some replayability because you can kind of mix and match
Yeah.
all the sides on it.
Yeah, and you can flip them over and not flip them over.
Cool.
And then
Has Xander played this one with you?
no, then
No, so
Lincoln has.
Lincoln has. Do you think Xander could? There's reading on maybe a couple cards.
I think he could.
He could?
Yeah,
Okay,
he could
cool.
definitely play this. I like the tomb, the harder version, because if you think about it right, each point that's not touching anyone else gets 4 points. So if you have like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and so on, you'll get 4 for every single one.
Right, lots of points, yeah. So
Yeah.
being able to score those in the best way, pretty cool
Yeah.
stuff. Imhotep the Duel.
Number 7. Okay, my number 7 game is A Fistful of Meeples.
A Fistful of Meeples.
Oh, yeah,
Alright,
this
cool.
game is
This is
pretty
a pretty
fun.
recent acquisition.
Yeah, I like the theme for it, like the cowboys and the sheriffs and the robbers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I like how they can do the draws, which
Yeah.
is really fun. Whoever rolls the higher number wins.
Shootout.
Yeah, shootout. And then you're moving your tiles by what place they're in. So you can either move to the left or the right, and then that depending what they get. And then the sheriff, if they have a robber in their zone, then you get 2 pulls from the bag. And then if the robber sees 2 miners, then they get 2
Rob
pulls.
them.
From
Yeah, pretty cool. So it's based on a Moncala
Yeah.
mechanic where you are picking up a bunch of meeples, moving them down the street on your western town, and then as they go into the town, they get to take different actions depending on which colored meeple it is.
Yeah.
Which is pretty slick because there's not any reading necessary in this
Yeah.
one.
Not new.
Yeah, pretty cool that you can upgrade your buildings, and then you're buying gold, and then trying to score big points at the end of the game.
Yeah, I also like the dynamite and the gold bars
Yep.
and the tunes.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 different ways to end the
Yeah.
game. And yeah, this is a pretty cool one. It's a real nice, simple, small box. Pretty easy to bust out and play.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Number 6.
All right, so what's our number 6?
Number 6 is Detective Club.
Detective Club, okay. Tell us about this one.
Okay, Detective Club, I love the artwork for it and the
It is
cool
very
different
cool looking.
colors.
Yeah.
In the game, you're drawing, however many players there are, you draw them a word, and then except one, and they don't know what the word is. And then each
Yes,
person...
you can write anything, right?
Yeah.
On the sheet of paper.
Yeah, like-
based on what's in your hand of cards.
Yeah, like
and then
wood, sly, anything like that.
yeah, and you can pass out the notebooks to everybody. One person doesn't know what the word is. And then
So, yeah, it's kind of hard
kind of hard.
when you have the scratch.
Right, when you don't have the scratch, you have to look at what other people put down and try to guess, oh, what are we looking at? Oh, everybody's kind of using orange cards. I'll play this orange card. Oh, it turns out everybody else's was pointy. You have to kind of guess
Yeah.
what it is, and then you get to vote on who you think is not part of the detective club at the end of each
Yeah.
round.
I also, when you have the scratch, you have bunches of cards to play, but sometimes a good excuse is, oh no, I don't have any good cards for this.
Right.
Just to throw people off and say, sometimes it's hard when you actually don't have any good cards if you don't know what the word is.
Right, it makes it easy to
Yeah.
lie because it is hard sometimes to find
Yeah.
a card that matches what's been played. Yeah, pretty cool choice.
Number 5.
All right, so we're halfway through the list. We've got a great assortment of different kinds of games on the table. What's our number 5 option?
Tournament of Towers.
Tournament of Towers. Okay, yep. I saw this one in your stack. I was a little bit surprised that that it made the list, but that's pretty cool. Tell us about this game from Iron Hippo Games.
Okay, this is a fun game where you're trying to stack your pieces by drawing different cards, like drafting cards, kind of.
Drafting cards that show different items on them.
Yeah, and then there's yellow ones that equal points, but they're weirder shapes, like an egg.
Harder to stack on.
Yeah. Or like, what are they called?
Springs and triangles. There's all kind of weird
Moon
things.
shape,
yeah.
Stuff like that. And then you're trying to stack them, and then whoever has the highest tower gets points, and then whoever has the most yellow gets points.
Or you get points for each yellow that you use.
Each yellow that you have. And then you have a guy, and if you can put it on the very top of the tower, you get a point. And then, wait, does it count as 2 points?
I think so, yeah. There's different
If you get him
scoring.
on top, you get 1, and then, because he's a yellow guy, if you need at least get him on the tower, he's 2.
Right. Yeah, so it is pretty neat. Lots of components out on the table when you play. You take those cards as you're drafting, kind of looking at them and thinking, okay, this should be able to stack on top of this, and if I can get this other piece, it'll be really helpful because it'll fit into this weird shape.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle to just put back into the box, so that's like a game too. But it is really cool components, like really heavy-duty plastic.
Yeah.
They work really well together. Pretty neat.
Yeah. Number 4.
All right, number 4. What are we looking at? We're going to get in the home stretch here.
Okay, finger guns.
Finger guns. Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, this game is fun. It kind of reminds me of Catching Guns, which I had 2 years ago. It's also a fun one.
Yep. 1 to 4 or 1 to 6 players, I think.
Yeah,
3 to 8 players.
That's a lot. I like all the different moves that you can do where you're trying to shoot each other, like shoot, heal, bomb, stuff like that.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. So in the game, you're trying to take each other out a couple hit points at a time. Everybody says like 1, 2, 3, and then you shoot at each other.
Yeah, and then there's the sheriff, whoever says it.
Right, whoever says it can't say it again the next round, but somebody else can say 1, 2, 3, shoot. And there's somewhere you can like work together with each other. And if more than half the people do it, then the other half all lose health. The cool thing about this game, unlike some of those other games, is that if you die in the game, you get to keep playing as a ghost, which is pretty neat. And then people who shoot you, like it goes through you and hits the next guy, which is pretty cool. The ghosts can actually win if they play their cards right. Yeah,
and then you can like grab cards to do special powers. But if 2 people do the same thing, the card power, it doesn't work.
Right.
Or if 2 people do the same health number, it doesn't work. So you can't all do the same thing every time.
And cool stuff like that. Dynamite allows you to blow up the guy on this side and this side, but then you also lose health too, so you gotta weigh that. Pretty cool stuff. Fingers crossed.
Number 3.
Alright, what is your number 3?
Okay, Slide Quest.
Slide Quest. This is a cool looking one for sure.
Yeah. Video game board game.
Yeah, they call it the video game board game, right?
Yeah. You're trying to move your knight to the finish line or to the end of the level, and then there's 20 levels, and you're trying to beat everyone. Me and Lincoln beat everyone.
Yeah, I know. You guys worked hard at this. So this is a cooperative dexterity game where everybody has their own little lever that they are trying to use to balance the board and get their little knight to make it through. And there's cool things like dynamite, and there's some bad guys where they have to you have to actually knock the bad guy into the correct hole. So not super easy.
Yeah, but it's not super hard either.
But not super hard and super fun.
Yeah,
I think is
and
the
then
key.
there's like the king, and there's walls that you can't hit over, and then things that you have to go through to beat the level.
Right, and there's an app that goes with it, which is cool because it plays cool music and times you and like tells you how well you're doing in the game.
Yeah, it makes you feel like your heart beating more, nervous, shaking. Will I run out of time or will I make it?
Cool stuff, Slide Quest.
Number 2.
Alright, so you got 2 pretty cool looking games over there. What's the order?
Okay, Yum Yum Island.
Yum Yum Island. Alright, cool. This is a really fun
is
family
super
one.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's where you're trying to you have blindfolds, and then you're trying to drop the food tokens into the animals' mouths without letting Ferguson, the big fat guy, eat
all the food that spills everywhere else. Yeah, really neat components, really heavy duty cardboard. Pretty fun concept that you're flying your plane in to drop it off.
Yeah.
But you've got these goggles on and it's storming, and so you have to depend on your team to tell you a little more to the left, a little more to the right.
Yeah, and then you can rule no talking, and then you're like, okay, my arm is right here, and this is the arm's length. Okay, drop it.
And then still missing it every time.
Yeah, that's still really cool. And then, even missing. And then you can also use the trees and touch them.
To give yourself an idea of where you're at.
It's like this close to this and this far to there. And then, but there's also guys that do powers, like the spider. So you start off your board mixed up and you can't see, and you're trying to grab pieces right. And then the spider makes it so it's easier. So like the right side is the green and the left side is the pink. And then some, like you pick Ferguson up and drop him in any food that spills.
The lion?
Yeah. They go back into your bag instead of Ferguson's mouth. And then if Ferguson's mouth gets filled, you lose. But if you can feed all the animals without them starving, you win.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Really, it works really well for family. It's also really fun to just watch adults play too, which is pretty hilarious. Yum Yum Island.
Number one! Okay, my number one game is Honga.
Yeah, from Haba. All right, so pretty cool. Interesting thing about this game is that unlike most Haba games, this is a pretty meaty game.
Yeah. It's bigger and better. It's easy enough for kids to learn, but you could definitely play this as adults, just like 5 adults playing, or you could just play 5 kids. It's easy to learn. There's a lot of things you can do on your turn, like do I get resources? Do I walk up the mountain to get points? Do I try to complete tasks? Do I try to hunt and kill the mammoths?
Right.
So there's a lot of things to do.
And you gotta make sure that you keep Honga happy as well, because if you don't pet him, he'll come and steal all your stuff.
Yeah.
Worker placement game. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. I also like the artwork for it, like the people, the survivors.
Cool. And the components are pretty nice. They're a little bit chunky. The artwork is really fun.
Yeah, like Honga, the character is amazing.
Yeah, pretty neat in the middle of the board. This is a pretty heavy game for kids.
Yeah.
It's a 45-minute game, so it's not like a quick sit down and just knock it out in 5 minutes. Yeah. But the mechanics all make really good sense, which is cool. You're tracking things really well as you're playing the game. There's a lot going on, but not too much.
Yeah,
really nice balance.
You can have AP or there's things I can do on my turn, and then do I do this, and then whoever has the most killed mammoths, you can spend those to get tasks extra. And get points, or you can keep those and get the tusk, which gives you special cards, orange cards instead of just white cards, that do more things on your turn. Like you can do 4 things at once. Yeah,
very cool. I know that Xander has enjoyed this one as well, so good for the entire family. Yeah. This has been a surprisingly good game. We've enjoyed it. It has made it to the table a good number of times. You guys have played it a bunch.
Yeah, we did.
Have you taken it to the neighbors as well?
Yes, we have.
Yeah? All right, cool. They gave it the thumbs up too?
Yeah, Jaden liked it.
All right, excellent. Well, cool. Honga is the number 1 choice of Liam's year. Pretty fantastic. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Man, we've got a great spread of games out on the table. I'd be interested in playing any one of these with you. So that's cool. These are great games for the family, great games for the kids and the neighbors. And thank you guys so much for checking it out. Let us know if you enjoy any of these, if you have any other suggestions for games that would be good for other folks out there. And then, as always, be sure to subscribe and follow us along here at Tantrum House.
Yes! 10 games!
Good job, man. You made it. Previous years.
Games of all time.
1, 2, 3. Boom!
All the games fell.
Number 10.
No.
2-player, obviously.
It's upside down.
It's upside down? Try again. Alrighty, ready to go?
Yeah, really good components, not like paper or anything.
Not like paper. Where's your Rubik's Cube? Did it make the list? Number 9!
I'm just saying it.
Okay.
Number 9!